Hi everyone. Hi Federico. We can hear you.
Okay, great. Let's remind people of the call. 1 second. I'm going to put a message in the group.
Guys, this call is recorded and it will be published right afterwards in the group chat.
Oh, hello, Sophie. Good to see you. Long time no see. I think I scared her. No,
Sorry,
you're there?
Fede. Hi.
Okay.
It's great to see you too.
How are you? All good?
Busy, yeah, but it's really nice to be here after too long.
Good. The good thing is that you're busy delivering justice.
As are you.
Exactly.
We're in the same business.
Exactly. Okay, so let's get started. Oh, actually, I think an interesting news about this week, and this will interest you, Sophie, is about NFTs. I'm preparing actually now a presentation. So for Ethereum, Rio, and also for other talks I typically give regarding the use of Kleros in NFT kind of cases, and was doing my research and come across this case of intellectual property claim between Tarantino and Miramax, the studio that produced the movie Pulp Fiction. Are you aware of that?
I had read about it, but I don't know obviously the legal implications, but I knew it existed. What's it about?
So apparently Tarantino, he wanted to sell an NFT of like scanned version of the script where he wrote Pulp Fiction, right? So he puts this on sale, and then the studio, Miramax says, yeah, you cannot do that because that doesn't belong to you. You, when you sign the contract with the studio, like you transfer the property of.
Yeah.
Right. So now there is this situation where, two agents like kind of claim that it's their property. What is actually what they are claiming about, and this is interesting. It's like the right to, mint a digital asset called NFT, but there is no like physical. He's not selling the actual script. He's selling like the. I'm just getting into this because, of course, as you can imagine, Kleros can be a big agent in this type of situations. But yeah,
I don't know what sort of disputes are you thinking for Kleros, because obviously the big in the more traditional legal sphere, the big question mark, and this is something that, as you know, Primavera de Filippi talked about in our event and elsewhere, is the question of what is ownership and what do you own, and so what sort of disputes do you think Kleros could help with in the NFT sphere? What's the low-hanging fruit about?
I think that very big use case that we are going to address here is curation of what NFTs can be offered in a decentralized NFT marketplace. Like imagine Tarantino had submitted this. He wanted to mint this NFT, and he submits this to a list of a white list of acceptable NFT mints. I don't know, and he submits his okay. I have this file which Tarantino wrote in 1990 whatever, and this is for this movie. And then I want to mint this and sell it as an NFT, which belongs to me. I was the author, right? And potentially you could have like someone claim, like challenge this submission and say, look, according to, okay, you are maybe the author, but then there is this contract where you transfer the property of of this right to mint this NFT to Miramax Studios Inc. Whatever. So now you have like this situation where Tarantino claims that he has the right to mint this NFT and sell it, and the challenger claiming that he doesn't have that right. So it's kind of, I mean, this would prevent the dispute from happening, but I mean, I'm trying to figure out how this would work, because kind of the Kleros system here would like be a pre-approved right that you have to sell an NFT, and not like the studio suing Tarantino after he already sold that NFT.
I see.
So do you see how this could work?
So you're seeing this as a sort of preventative measure. I mean, one of the things that I find fascinating, and I'm not going to bore everyone with legal terms, but apart from Abir, who I see is listening, but I think one of the things that is fascinating about the NFT concepts is I think we're going to see, because at the moment, if you have like Tarantino had the idea of the script, and then he wrote the script, and then the script was made in the movie, and then by signing with the studio, he lost the right to use the script elsewhere. But the idea, the notion of an idea, a concept, at the moment is not protected, as I understand it. I'm not an IP lawyer, but it's not protected as such by IP. But under NFTs, I mean, arguably, the idea, the concept of that script could be protected, perhaps, could be something that he could then reuse as an NFT sort later on, as opposed to the actual dialogue of the movie, which is what belongs to Miramax. I don't know. I mean, it's just might be cutting hairs in half. I don't know, but to me, that's what I mean by when I say it would be quite interesting to see Kleros involved in this. Although I wonder whether there's not at the moment a lot of legal entanglements. That's my only question.
I mean, I think it depends on how it's structured. I mean, Kleros used as a NFT, I mean, as a kind of a replacement for a trial for an NFT claim. Maybe it's a bit not that much of a low-hanging fruit, but Kleros has a pre-verification mechanism that tries to make sure that the NFT that is going to be offered complies with a number of situations, or a number of
I don't see why. I mean, I think it would certainly be a very good first port of call, for sure.
Are you there, Abir?
Yes, I am here.
What do you think about this?
It is pretty interesting, yeah. Though I think, like ultimately I'm looking forward more to a situation where Kleros gets adopted into sort of, internal review mechanisms of sorts. You know how most apps and all have something like that, let's say Airbnb, Uber and all. I think that's really the low-hanging fruit that's going to be of most significance of sorts, or let's say in video games, like esports situations. So yeah, I mean, the NFT idea is good, but I think we should probably aim a bit higher than that to more, let's say, tangible issues.
Good. I see Misu, he's commenting also that he already has a minimal set of policy for a Kleros curated registry of NFTs, which I haven't seen, but I would love to see. I mean, if you can share that, that would be awesome. And yeah, so I'm just mentioning this because we were discussing this today internally, and yeah, maybe you would be interested.
Is that going to be the topic of your talk at the conference?
I'm going to be speaking about this in a number of places. This is the idea I submitted to the Ethereum Rio conference that's going to be held in March in Rio. So I hope it's going to be accepted. Then I'm going to be speaking about this at let me tell you exactly how it's called. It's 1 second. It's a patent conference, a legal conference, TPN. let me see what Technology Patent Network.
Oh,
so
right.
apparently, you know it, right?
Of course, I know of it. Yes, yes. I mean, that's not my field of practice, so I'm quite ignorant, but I of course know of it, and it's a very good topic for it, obviously.
Yeah, I was invited to speak there, 9th and 10th of March. So actually, when they published the speaker lineup, so I got like messages from lots of lawyers who like, hey, you're speaking there, good. I mean, yeah, I guess it's a really interesting place to deliver this message about NFTs and this beautiful solution. So
is the conference
yeah,
going to be streamed? Do you know? Do you know if we're going to be able to have a look? Because I'm sure there will be other very interesting topics as well.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be streamed, and the
Yeah.
topics are really interesting. I mean, there's going to be talks about the metaverse. So yeah, all of the things where Arbitech is pioneering, so they are coming a bit late after Arbitech.
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely, fair enough.
So I'm sure they will yeah, or if they don't stream it, at least I think they will share the recording. I will ask, of course. So yeah, so that's one thing of this week is different members of the team preparing for being at different conferences. I mean, myself, mostly Kleros Americas, let's say, is going to be participating at the Ethereum Rio, and then Kleros Europe is going to be participating at Ethereum Dubai. So we have like a more presence in different parts of the world, except for William, since William is special, he's going to go also to Dubai and Rio. We can't, I mean, shield him enough to all of the audiences we can. So yeah.
Well, Dubai took my talk, so I have to go there, and I'm still part of the Americas. So.
Yeah. Why don't you mention what your talk is going to be about at Dubai?
So I'm going to talk about griefing factors. So this is some of the research I've been doing recently. For those of you who haven't heard me already say this on previous community calls. So this is about like an idea that was sort of coined by Vitalik a few years ago. It measures the effectiveness of sabotage. So the idea is you have like the factor between if you're an attacker that like is willing to do harm to themselves to do harm to others, you have the factor between like how much harm you did to others versus how much harm you did to yourself. Maybe you did $1 of damage to yourself and you did $10 of damage to other people, then you have a griefing factor of 10. Or maybe you did like $10 of damage to yourself and only $1 of damage to other people, and then you have a griefing factor of 0.1. And you want to design systems that have that don't have high griefing factors sort of naturally, both because like maybe there are actors that have out of game incentives, like your competitors, for example, that would come along and be attracted by grief to sort of like discourage people from using our system. Or maybe, and this is maybe part of the culture of crypto and why it's particularly relevant to crypto, although also there are sort of other reasons that I will hit on in the talk. Maybe you just have trolls that just want to watch the world burn, that are willing to do a little bit of harm to themselves if they can like destroy stuff. So you want to like think about the kind of griefs that are available in your system when you're designing it. And of course, we've done that in thinking about how Kleros works. If you read the yellow paper, you'll notice there are a couple of griefs analyzed. And I'm writing an academic article that talks about sort of what we learned thinking about griefs, taking examples from Kleros and elsewhere, and some of that will be in the content of the Dubai talk.
Good. So that's about the Dubai talk. Then, well, as you know, the big thing for us is developing the Kleros 2.0, and that we are moving forward fast, and we are trying to plan a demo for you to see where we are now, and we're just exactly trying to define what should be the scope for the demo, so we can be confident that it's going to work as we expect. So maybe soon you will be able to see like Kleros 2.0 in action. We will of course let you know when we plan to do that. last week, as you know, we had our incubator demo day, and we had presentations by Reactions and OpenVino, and also last week we opened the applications for the next batch of the incubator. The first one was really successful. We had these really cool projects which we helped to structure their companies and develop their products, and also well, try to launch them in good conditions, and also we provide a bit of funding. And I think that was a really great experience. We for sure learned a bit about what we can improve for the second batch. So if you are building some blockchain project that uses Kleros in whatever of Kleros capacities of escrow, disputes, curation, oracles, feel free to apply, and we will of course check on your project, and if it looks good, we will interview it, and well, potentially give your project a place in the next batch of the incubator. So we have that. We have let me think. Well, lots of inbound integrations requests that yeah, I mean, I have like in front of me like lots of Telegram chats, different discussions going on of people wanting to integrate Kleros in different aspects. This week we got lots of people, especially from the DeFi projects in insurance, and others like doing some bond markets. So we are like managing that. A really good piece of news is that we already recruited a new integration manager who is going to be in charge of all this process of integrations with Kleros. And we are still interviewing people for lots of different other positions that we have open. We are slow in recruiting, but we do take our time to make sure that only the best of talent can be part of the team. So yeah, but we are I don't know if I should say the name of the new member. I'm just going to say for now that he's from Singapore, which is also great because it opens doors to also Asian markets, which are, as you know, very important for the future. So we have that, which is a really good news. We have let me see. Well, I will let William give a short also update about research activities. Let's go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, like some of it's already on the griefing factors that I already described. We're designing an experiment that we're planning to have it Paris 2 to like sort of calibrate some parameters around our like the multiple choice voting systems that we lay out in the yellow paper. So that's taking shape. That's mostly what I've been doing the last couple of weeks. So if people have questions, feel free to ask.
Good. So from the research perspective, I also had a couple of more than a couple of conversations with different lawyers from different parts of the world who are interested in replicating the case in Mexico that, as you know, was the use of Kleros into a contract for a leasing contract, and this was really interesting that the Mexican court accepted the ruling under the conditions that were stated, of course, in that arbitration clause. That I invite you to read the report that Mauricio wrote about that, and which actually now that I'm thinking that could be a really nice NFT in the future. I mean, it could be the first, step to decentralized justice taking over the world.
Just make sure that Mauricio doesn't sue you for it.
I mean, when he accepted to be in the fellowship, he kind of waived his right to sell.
That's what Miramax said.
Yeah, well, we will check with Jan, our lawyer, on that first. So okay, so we had like different people interested in seeing how this could be replicated in different jurisdictions. Off the top of my head, now there's like these efforts being done in Spain, in France, in Guatemala, Argentina, maybe also in Uruguay, but those and others probably, but still, still early stage. But the fact that the case in Mexico was successful, so encourage a lot of people to also try to do it. And also there are some different ideas from some of these people about how to structure the clause differently to what Mauricio did in Mexico. One of strategy I can remember now is that instead of having the case resolved and then asking the judge to enforce the ruling, it could be done faster by first like going to the, before the case goes to Kleros, one of the parties goes to the judge and says this arbitration clause is invalid, for the judge to make a decision on the validity or not of the arbitration clause, and then moving forward with the dispute. That's an idea we had from I don't know if you have some. I'm not a lawyer, but maybe there are some lawyers in the room. So that's another strategy that can be used to address this type of situations, which we had not discussed in the past.
I think by this stage, Federico, you are certainly an honorary lawyer, if not a lawyer outright. But for sure there are many strategies, and it depends very much on what the local law provides for. Yeah. I think Mexican law was quite open to the idea of party autonomy to choose exactly what they wanted. Like if they wanted to toss a coin, they could toss a coin and that would be valid as long as they both wanted the same thing. And so if they both chose Kleros, that also would be valid. So, but not obviously not all laws will provide the same thing. So, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
If I might just add one thing, like it's a good thing that you've got the Kleros incubator going, but I think that like in many jurisdictions, this whole idea of trying to convince lawyers to sort of adopt Kleros and all that might not exactly reap many fruits because of many different issues, cultural, professional, legal, and all. But I think that like considering like the Kleros incubator is going well enough, I think that what you can target is other incubators, specifically those in universities, sort of sell Kleros to the incubators there, the student interested, and sort of sell them the idea of using Kleros or adopting Kleros in any business plans they have. That way they've got they've got local knowledge, local resources, as well as a collaboration with Kleros and their host institution. I think that provides a more efficient way of sort of expanding Kleros across the world, rather than like expecting lawyers to do this, because I honestly don't think, especially like in the jurisdictions I'm familiar with, that lawyers are really the best people to go ahead and try to get this rolled out.
I think that the answer is it depends, as lawyers typically say. So some of the people who contacted us because they wanted to replicate the case in Mexico, they are actually venture capital lawyers. And they want the use of Kleros into contracts that they have between the fund, VC funds, and startups, in order to resolve any claim happening between the fund and the startup team. And this can be regarding the milestones that need to be fulfilled before the funds are released in different stages, right? So the thing is that these funds, they cannot go to court with the startup they are funding, and they really need a solution like Kleros. So the thing in this case is that it's not like us who are like trying to push like Kleros to, I mean, different people. I mean, we just in most cases we get like inbound people. I mean, saying, "Hey, guys, we saw what happened in Mexico. We are lawyers in, you name the country, and we want arbitration clauses in our contract that we do to have Kleros, and we will figure out how to do it." And it's like their most of the effort is on their side, and we just provide a bit of support on how Kleros works, but it's the research is done like locally by people who are the lawyers who want to use Kleros in their contracts. So that's kind of in the same like direction of what you're thinking of incubators, but more on the VC fund. I have not thought about going to incubators, but it makes sense. I mean, for lots of startup corporate disputes, that can make sense. So that's something that's going on. Of course, all this takes time. All this, but well, we have like I'd say a global, network of partners who are experts in jurisdiction. We are experts in Kleros, and maybe it's going to work in, I don't know, 50% of the cases, 30%, 15%. I don't know. You never know, but worth trying. So have that. I finally finished also in other news my report for the community, which will be published hopefully next week. I actually had finished it and put it on the Ghost, which is our blogging platform, and for some reason the blog post was lost and I had to write it again. Fine, I don't know. I already did it. We're just finalizing some numbers of the financials and treasury, information, and then when that is done, we will publish it, so you get a full picture of all things Kleros in the past months. And I don't know if I have anything else to mention today. Maybe Annabelle, you want to say something?
What is interesting for us is to follow up on ETH Rio. We have something interesting cooking for Rio, like a Kleros event in Rio, as we already mentioned in the community calls. I cannot say much about it, but the shape is going to change a little bit. There will be talks, there will be very interesting guests, and we have already partners working with us on that. So this is really going to be very interesting. So if there are people in the region, we will let them know, of course, and provide invitations and tickets to that event.
Yeah, we are organizing this with the University of Rio, and then with the most important mediation and arbitration center in Rio. So they are putting all of the logistics together, and also marketing the event, and having people interested. So if you are either from Rio or have friends in Rio, totally you can invite them to the event. It's going to be very cool. Looking forward to that. And I think that's it for me for this week. I know if you guys have any questions for me.
Would you DM me the details of the event, because I have a couple of people, Brazilians on ArbTech, that I'm sure that are involved with another arbitration institution in Brazil called the Canadian Brazilian Chamber of Commerce, and I'm sure they would be interested. So if you can send that over, I'll make sure you're in touch.
Absolutely. After we finally define the venue and all the time, definitely I will share this with you. Any other question I can answer for you? Oh, by the way, we have just I was told that there is a post just published by Vitalik about I don't know what, but I know it mentions Kleros and Proof of Humanity. I have not read it yet, so I cannot comment more, but I saw it published. that's it for me for today.
Thanks. Thank you. It's great to see you, Fede. Keep well.
Likewise, Sophie. Good to see you.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
Awesome, guys. Bye-bye then. See you next week.
Thank you, Fede. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Everybody.
See you guys.
Bye.